Zamfara accident victims laid to rest. Senator Wamako spent over 20 million naira on 2020 anti-malaria spray exercise. 15 high-profile corruption case files have been reported missing. On business, Presidency says Nigeria's negative economic growth not so bad. And on the international scene, President Buhari receives update on Mali situation from Special Envoy Goodluck Jonathan. Hello and welcome to Svtv News. I am Musa Joy Unyoza. A ghastly motor accident involving a trailer loaded with cement along Virgin Baza Safiliki government area of Zamfara state has left 19 people dead. Report says the accident occurred when the trailer loaded with cement lost control and crushed 4 other vehicles loaded with people, which instantly caused the death of 19 among them. Eyewitness says 16 people died instantly, while 2 others died at Yeremambakura Specialist Hospital, Gusau. Our correspondent Dahiru Smaila Mafara attended a burial of some of the victims and sent in this report.
What a black Wednesday for the people of Zamfara state when hundreds of relatives, friends and sympathizers gathered at this Tudunwada Jumat Mosque to pray for the repose of the soul of the departed political supporters of Governor Bello Matawalle. Many of the sympathizers were touched by the shocking days of the people who went to welcome their leader after performing series of official functions outside the state only for them to meet with their death. Part of the sympathizers is the governor's entourage. The governor's aide, Yusuf Idris Gusau, who expressed concern, told me that the governor was at the scene of the incident to show his concern and sympathy to the victims. A statement issued by the special advisor to Governor Bello Matawalle, Malan Zelani Bappa, said, in sympathy to the deceased, the governor has directed for the observance of a 3-day mourning in honor of the departed souls, and all flags should fly at half-mast.
A Zamfara state licensed miner, Shamsuddin Sani Dahiru, has accused Alatamafra sole administrator Alhaji Abubakar Musa of illegally taking over his registered mining site in Sauna village in the state. Briefing journalists in Western Gusau, Zamfara state capital, Shamsuddin said he legitimately obtained certificates from the Mining Cadastre Office under Federal Ministry of Mines and Solid Minerals Development in 2017 and has duly renewed his license that conferred him right to operate legally on the site. He said to his surprise the inhabitants surrounding the area said they suddenly saw laborers in large number employed and embarked on clearing works of the mining site, which he considered to be trespass. Accosted for comment, the sole administrator of Talata Mafara, Alhaji Abubakar Musa, however, disputed the claim that he illegally took over any registered mining site occupied by personality of Shamsuddin Dahiru, who legitimately obtained valid document for the site. Abubakar Musa further said his administration had only facilitated the deployment of security personnel to the area with a view to strengthen the security of innocent lives, as constitutionally expected of any right-thinking leader. Zamfara State Children Parliament has expressed worries and condemned the high rate of rape, sodomy, and defilement cases in the state. The Speaker of the Children Parliament, Sumaya Aminu Aliu, stated this during the sitting of the Parliament in Gusau on Wednesday. The Speaker, while receiving the report of the oversight assignment carried out by the Child Protection and Children Development Committee to the State Sexual Assault Referral Center, Gusau, Sumaya expressed sadness over the increasing rate of abuses in the state and calls for more stiffer punishment for perpetrators of the crime against children. She lamented that the Parliament is sadly aware that globally children are the major victims of rape, sodomy, defilement, and other assault cases. She said the Parliament was going to present all its findings during the advocacy visit to policymakers in the state. The Speaker saw the purpose of the oversight visit to State Sexual Assault and Referral Center was to know the current situation of survivors of rape, sodomy, and defilement cases in the state. It could be recalled that the coordinator of the Zamfara State Sexual Assault Referral Center, Malam Ahmed Shehu, when he received members of the Zamfara Children Parliament, disclosed that the center has recorded 160 cases of rape, sodomy, and the filing of underage children, teenagers, within the period of 1 year. The Chairman Senate Committee on Defense, Senator Aliu Magatakarda Wamako, has said that he spent over 20 million naira to help spray anti-malaria during this year's anti-malaria campaign exercise in Sokoto State. Senator Wamako, who represents Sokoto North Senatorial District, stated this while flagging off the annual exercise in Sokoto on Tuesday, August 25, 2020. He said the gesture was to curb the menace of diseases that have been plaguing the people of the state, especially the malaria scourge. The senator was represented by his Director of Administration, Alhaji Al-Mustafa Abubakar Al-Kali. He appealed to the residents to be patient as the 1-month exercise will fully cover all the targeted area, adding that only a healthy person can be productive. The Attorney General of the Federation and Minister of Justice, Abubakar Malami, has denied an allegation made by one Victor Giwa accusing him of conniving with one Donald Wakoma to witch hunt the lawyer over what he termed as his refusal to testify against Ibrahim Magu. Abubakar Malami said there has never been a time he requested anybody to witch hunt Ibrahim Magu at the ongoing retired Justice Ayo Salami presidential panel probing the suspended chairman of the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission EFCC Ibrahim Magu. In a statement on Monday by Special Assistant on Media and Public Relations Office of the Attorney General of the Federation and Minister of Justice Dr. Omar Jibrilu Gwandu, said an Abuja-based lawyer, Victor Giwa, had accused Attorney General and Minister of Justice Abubakar Malami of conspiring with Wandona Wakoma, a former special advisor to Vice President Yemi Osibanjo, to witch hunt him over his refusal to testify against the suspended acting chairman of the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission. Giwa was last Wednesday arrested while testifying before the retired Justice Ayo Salami-led presidential panel inside Aso Villa in the ongoing probe of Magu. He was arrested alongside another lawyer, Fatima Hassan. In a statement on Sunday, Giwa alleged that both Malami and Wakoma had made a desperate move to lure him to know the suspended acting EFCC chairman. The statement saw the Minister of Justice never met Giwa and had never discussed any issue with the so-called Donald Wakoma, nor asked anybody personally or by proxy to engage the so-called Victor to testify against Ibrahim Magu. The Federal University, Gusau, has issued a notice of resumption of registration by pre-degree students who are yet to complete their registration with the university. The university authority said it has given the pre-degree student 1 week from 23rd to 28 August 2020 to complete their registration. The institution said lectures would commence immediately after schools are reopened and will not allow any unregistered student into lecture halls. The university said all students must show evidence of registration before they are allowed into any lecture hall. The Inspector General of Police, Mohammed Adamu, has suspended a 3 requirement for applicants who wish to join the Nigerian police force as constables. The Inspector General of Police has directed that no candidate should be disqualified in the current recruitment exercise in the force, irrespective of their physical appearance, age, and qualification. The NPF is looking to recruit 10,000 personnel in line with the decision of President Muhammadu Buhari to add 40,000 policemen to the NPF over a period of 4 years. The requirements listed in the recruitment include that applicants must be aged between 17 to 25 years and possess a minimum of 5 credits, including English and mathematics, in WAEC, NECO, GCE, and NAPTEP. Applicants were also required to be medically, physically, and psychologically fit and must not be less than 1.67 meter tall for male and 1.64 meter tall for female. A member of the Nigerian Union of Journalists, Mewada Malam, has called on the union to enforce a total media blackout on the former Minister of Aviation, Mr. Femi Kayode, following his recent attack on a Daily Trust reporter, A.O. Charles, in Calabar, Cross River State on Monday. FFK was asked who's bankrolling his newly improvised and lucrative responsibility of jumping from one PDP state to another of the noble objective of endorsing the performance of their governors, a question that triggered his anger against the reporter, showering him with abusive and insultive words. Mr. Malam said the former minister has acted out of his constitutional despite him being a professional lawyer. He said Mr. Fani Kayode ought to have known that Mr. A.O. Charles was discharging his duty as a representative of the public. Mayweather said the simple blackout would teach the former minister a lesson that would respect human dignity. Mr. Fani Kayode has been going around the country, particularly PDP governing state, without clear knowledge of on whose behalf he was carrying out such expensive trips. 15 case files of high-profile individuals, including the governor of Imo State, Hope Uzodinma, Senator Peter Uwaboshi, and others facing graft and other criminal charges, have been reported missing. An investigation by Sunday Punch revealed the missing files also include non-declaration of asset and possession of foreign account cases against Anambra North Senator Stella Odua, the president of the Nigerian Football Federation, and 4 other NFF officials, as well as Akwa Ibom North East Senator Basi Akpan, among others. The case against Uzodinma involved alleged contract fraud to the tune of 26 billion naira, as he reportedly received $12.5 million from the Nigerian Port Authority in 2014 to direct the Calabar Channel, but he allegedly failed to execute the contract. Sequel to the disappearance of the files, the Minister of Justice has written to the former head of the legal unit, Special Presidential Investigation Panel on Recovery of Public Property, Dr. Cletus Opang, seeking information on the case files. The files were said to be among the 23 high-profile cases listed in a handover note by the chairman of the now-defunct SPIP, Okoyobono Obla, to the Solicitor General of the Federation, Dayo Apata, in August 2019, after Obno Obla was suspended by the President Major General Muhammadu Buhari, retired on August 14th of same year. The Secretary to the Government of the Federation, Boss Mustafa, subsequently directed Apata, who is a permanent secretary in the Ministry of Justice, to take charge of the panel. But 1 year after Apata took over the panel, the whereabouts of the files were said to be unknown, prompting the Solicitor General to write to Opang for information on the cases, the parties, and the court handling them. The federal government has said that it has employed the services of 8 field forensic auditors to review the accounts of the Niger Delta Development Commission, NDDC. This development is coming 10 months later after it was formally approved by President Muhammadu Buhari. The Minister of Niger Delta Affairs, Godswill Opabio, disclosed this while briefing journalists after Wednesday's Federal Executive Council meeting. Mr. Opabio said the FEC approved a memo for the appointment of the forensic auditors. He said the memo was basically the appointment of field forensic auditors to overtake the forensic auditing of the Niger Delta Development Commission. The minister said the field forensic auditors are going to be designated to go through the state of the Niger Delta region. He said a lead forensic auditor was approved earlier, sometime in March, and now about 8 other forensic auditors have been approved. They would be working in the field in the Niger Delta region. Nigerian newspaper publishing company Daily Trust said former Aviation Minister Femi Fani-Kayode would be accountable if its reporter is harmed. Mr. Fani-Kayode, who was seen in a video on Tuesday, verbally assaulted a reporter, Charles Ayo, who asked the ex-minister if his recent tour around the country was being bankrolled at a press conference in Calabar, Cross River State last week. Daily Trust, in a statement by the Executive Director, Editor-in-Chief, Nasru Abubakar, said the attack on the reporter who was doing his job was an indication of the chilling disregard he has towards the media and its work in investigating and reporting on issues. The newspaper said Fani Kayode's reprehensible actions raises major concern over the safety of journalists in Nigeria, calling on the police to take note of the ex-minister's action. The organization said the encounter occurred in Calabar, Cross River State in the morning of Thursday, 28 August 2020 at a hotel during a roundtable with invited journalists. The federal government has said there will be no more subsidies, either of set-top boxes or signal carriage, as it plans to resume the rollout of digital switchover, a transition from analog to digital television broadcasting. The Minister of Information and Culture, Lai Mohammed, disclosed this on Tuesday in Abuja at a dignity meeting to foster dialogue among the various stakeholders in the DSO architecture. Mr. Mohammed said that while the government is looking for money to pay outstanding debt and restart the DSO rollout, the process will be fully private sector driven and self-sustaining. He said government have made tremendous progress in its effort to get the much needed funds for the DSO process, in particular to pay outstanding debt that will ginger stakeholders to resume the rollout and bring the massive benefit of the DSO to Nigerians. We'll be right back after this short commercial break. Stay tuned. Welcome back. On business, Aguirre has more detail.
Welcome to Standard Voice Business Update. The Nigeria presidency has said that the country's negative economic growth was not as bad as expected following the release of the Nigeria Bureau of Statistics second quarter report. NBS statistics showed that Nigeria economic contracted by 6.10% second quarters of 2020 April to June. This was revealed in a statement on Wednesday, August 26th, by the Special Advisor to the President on Media and Publicity, Femi Adesina. Mr. Femi Adesina noted that despite the observed contraction in economic activities during the quarter, it outperformed projection by most domestic and international analysts. He noted that adjustments to the national budget as well as emergency financing from concealing leading windows or development finance institutions were critical in supporting government capacity to meet its obligations. The president's spokesman went on to note that in spite of the observed contraction in economic activity during the second quarters, it outperformed projection by most domestic and international analysts. And that's the Standard Voice Business Update. I'm Aguirre.
And on the international scene, President Muhammadu Buhari said on Wednesday at State House Abuja that the priority in Republic of Mali now should be securing the country, which is largely occupied by terrorists. The president spoke as he received briefings from ECOWAS Special Envoy to the West African country, former President Goodluck Jonathan. The meeting came ahead of an extraordinary virtual summit by ECOWAS heads of the state and leaders scheduled for Friday. President Buhari stressed that about 2/3 of Mali is occupied by terrorists, and it makes common sense to secure the country rather than pursuing individual interests. He said the sub-region would take a common position on the issue when the leaders meet on Friday, hoping that an amicable and generally acceptable position to all interested parties will be arrived at. Dr. Jonathan brought the president up to speed on dialogue with the military coup leaders who are seeking to stay in power for 3 years before holding elections. He said they call themselves National Committee for the Salvation of the People and refused to allow ousted President Ibrahim Boubacar Keïta to return to his personal residence where he would be given tight security. That has been the news from Standard Voice Television. To end the news, a quick look at the major headlines. Zamfara accident victims laid to rest. Senator Wamako spent over 20 million naira on 2020 anti-malaria spray exercise. 15 high-profile corruption case files have been reported missing. On business, Presidency says Nigeria's negative economic growth not so bad. And on the international scene, President Buhari receives update on Mali situation from Special Envoy Goodluck Jonathan. That's the news on behalf of the production crew and Head of News and Current Affairs Department, Alhaji Ibrahim Garuba Tunel. I still remain Musa Joy Onyoza. Stay tuned.